A reconstructed prairie is, to me, something that is planted by a human being. And my version of a reconstructed prairie may be quite different than somebody else's version of a reconstructed prairie.
A reconstructed prairie, that's starting from scratch. That's bare soil. There was no native species there before. You're coming in and designing something and planting something, trying to, do your best to create a facsimile of prairie.
With a home or a historical site, if there's an existing building there, you restore it and you undergo restoration to improve the quality or upgrade it. If there's no building there, then it seems to me that you have to reconstruct it from plans or old photographs or descriptions of some sort. So I think the same thing can be applied to a prairie. If there's nothing there, it seems to me you have to reconstruct it from scratch.
There are three main factors to reconstructing a native tallgrass prairie: site preparation, seeding, and management after the seeding.
Ideally, it would be nice to start with agricultural land, preferably after Roundup-ready soybeans. You have less of a residual weed problem to deal with.
You want to eliminate as many of the non-native plants that are there as possible. You don't want non-native plants competing with your native planted vegetation.
With reconstruction, you always have to hedge your bet. You try to pick the right species, the ones that you think will thrive on the site.
If the person wants a plant community that has more wildflowers, you'll include more wildflowers in the mix, or if you want a plant community that's predominantly grasses, to include fewer wildflowers in the mix.
Burning is important to maintain the longevity, I think, and the vigor of the prairie, if you will.
The native wildflowers and grasses are fire adaptive, so it's not destructive to the native plants. It can be destructive to any non-native plants that come in or encroach into the new planting. It also can reduce woody plants that may spring up in a new planting.
The P in prairie is for patience. I think you've got to realize that it's probably going to be at least 2 years, 2 growing seasons, before you can really assess how well things have established. Time will tell whether you've selected appropriate species for that site, because many things will grow and flower, but whether they persist long-term is partly a function of how well you've matched the species to the site.
Prairie reconstruction is such a young science that we're learning so much. There's so much left to learn, and the plantings that we have done, I think, are still so young. The plantings themselves are evolving, and we'll probably learn to add more and more species. Will they ever look like a real prairie? I don't know. Hopefully someday. They seem to develop character with age.